Hey guys, welcome to the channel. If you're new here, it's 𝗙𝗶𝘀𝗰𝗄. Thank you for coming. As always, the subscribers, thank you for the love, the support, encouragement. Always appreciate it. Thank you so much. Well guys, before I say anything, watch this clip and then let's talk about it.
The average Westerner can retire at 50 if they purchase a property in West Africa. I'm not talking about a meager retirement either. I'm talking about a luxurious standard of living that includes golf, sailing, polo, and fine dining every night. For the record, I don't think this is something that is necessarily fair, and I understand why some West Africans are upset about this. But the way the exchange rates and cost of living are right now, there is an opportunity for Westerners to engage in a once-in-a-lifetime arbitrage. And here's the thing, despite some protests from native Africans who feel this is driving up their cost of living, the West African governments are actually encouraging this. So let's jump right into the numbers. Money goes much farther in West Africa, so if you have a pension or social security income of $2,000 a month, by living in West Africa, it will be like living on $10,000 a month. If you take an annual draw from your retirement annuities for $20,000, it'll be like getting $100,000 in West Africa. Sell your paid-off house in America and relocate those funds to West Africa, and you'll never have to worry about money for the rest of your life. Have you ever seen those expensive clothing companies that take a normal t-shirt and slap a logo on it and charge 10 times as much? That's what it's like spending your money in the West, except oftentimes in the Western world, you're getting a worse experience but paying way more for it. In Ghana, we are selling our entry-level single-family houses for $125,000. These are smart homes with every amenity you can imagine, built to the highest international standards, and made from concrete, not plywood. Comparable houses in America sell for over $500,000, but to be frank, American houses can't compete at any level with what we build. But what about living day to day in West Africa? Food is about a fifth as expensive, so for the price of Taco Bell in the West, you get African fine dining. The highest rated golf courses that would be $100 a round in the West can be as low as $13 a round. A full-time housekeeper or cook is less than $500 a month instead of the $60,000 a year you would pay in the Western world. When considering West Africa, some people have concerns about healthcare, but if you go to a hospital or retirement home in America, there is a good chance that the medical professional you're dealing with will be from West Africa anyway. The reality is West African capital cities are rich, often having Western-trained medical professionals that cater to Westerners, so there's really nothing to worry about, and you won't be surprised with a six-figure bill from an American hospital that's owned by a Wall Street private equity firm. And remember I said that West African countries are encouraging Westerners to move to Africa? Ghana has a golden visa program where Westerners are fast-tracked to dual citizenship. Before I tell you how much this costs, let me put this in perspective. A golden visa to the European Union will cost around $800,000. If you want to save some money and go to Turkey, it'll be $400,000. The Caribbean countries also have golden visas, but they're $150,000. Ghana is less than $1,000. I've run these numbers for many of my clients, and while everyone's situation is different, we have found most of our Western clients have the financial capital necessary to retire in West Africa by age 50. These aren't multimillionaires, these are working professionals who are willing to take a 10-hour direct flight and learn they can escape the rat race of the Western world. I have no idea how long the exchange rate will favor Westerners. I don't know how long we'll be able to have new construction available for $125,000, but none of us are getting any younger, and you owe it to yourself to consider West Africa.
As you've seen in the video, this is a white person, is a white man living in West Africa. He's telling people from the West that they should consider or actually think of retiring in the African continent. And you know what is funny in this situation is the fact that a lot of black people in the West are actually relocating or trying to connect with the African people, and they are trying to let go of the West and come into the African continent. And in doing so, the people that are not wanting to share the country with the black people now also want to come and live in the African continent. That shows you where the West is headed to. Most of the time I come on the internet and I always encourage the black people in the diaspora in America, in Europe, in the Caribbean, in Asia. If you are a black person in the diaspora or in the West, that now is the time for you to come and invest in the motherland. It is the time to come and invest in Africa. The future is African. If you are seeing these people also calling their own to come into the African continent, to come to West Africa, what do you think is going to happen to the West in the near future? Collapse. That's what is going to happen. And I so much encourage you, my brothers and sisters, to come and start something in the African continent. It's not about us coming and complaining, because, you know, sometimes I read in the comments and I see a lot of people saying, chase them out, chase those invaders from Asia, from the West. But the thing is, it's not about chasing away these people. It's about, are you willing to get on a flight and do the same act that this white person, this Asian person has done, to come into the motherland and start up something? If you come into my country, Uganda, we have a lot of Indians, we have a lot of Chinese right now. There is also a lot of white people that are coming into the country. Why? Because they see there is opportunities. And this is why I say, if this man, like, he is calling his people to come into the West, he might not even be calling specifically his kind of people. But the fact is, if I am a black person and I speak and I say something positive about a certain place, majority of people that look like me will pay and give more attention to what I'm saying. And this is the same case. And because he's a white man, when he speaks, when he talks, a lot of his people will listen to him, a lot will give attention, a lot will bring money, take it to West Africa, East, South, Central, or wherever they will feel suited. So when you hear these kinds of people calling their own people and you give a deaf ear, that means you're losing out on the opportunities that you need as a black child, as a black person, to invest and put your roots in the motherland, because this is the future. This is where we need to be. When I come here and I encourage you that this is the time for you to come and invest home, I do mean it. If these people are seeing the opportunities in the motherland, why aren't you doing the same thing? Are you able and are you willing to do the same thing? Get on a flight, come and invest in the same place that these people are putting the money. If not, then you are going to just keep on complaining, which is not going to solve anything. There's a lot of things to invest in the African continent. The real estate is growing, agriculture sector is growing, the industries and factories are being built every single day. There's literally a lot of opportunities for you to put yourself into if you have the knowledge about it. And one thing I would really encourage is, we need a lot of teachers. If you are a teacher, you will do well in the African continent, because you have a lot to teach the African people. Because majority of the times, I see your comments and you're always judging Africans on how or why are we acting a certain way, because they don't know. So if you come and you're able to teach these people about the truth of what they need to know, why don't you do that? If these people are also fearing to stay in their Western countries and they also want to come and retire in the African countries, imagine where you should put your money. It should be in the African continent. And as you heard him say or tell these people, that the money that they spend in rent or retirement in their countries, it is luxury in the African continent. You have the same opportunities as them. Also, I keep telling you guys, do not just come out of excitement and think things are going to just be easy for you. Nothing is easy. In my country, Uganda, I don't know about other African countries, but when it comes to Uganda, yes, things are cheap, but they are not as cheap as you might think. Though it is accessible for you as a foreigner, for you as a person from the diaspora, it is going to be a bit easier for you. So that is something as a privilege on your side. You need to set your roots in the African continent. You might have lost the previous ones, but it is time for you to start planting the new ones that are fresh and that are valuable. Start building your wealth. Help the African people grow. Give the African people jobs. Help elevate yourselves. Help elevate the African people's minds. And that's something that I actually believe in. So guys, tell me what you think about this. Should the Western people come and retire in the African continent? Or we as African people, we as black people, should just come and start building our African continent? What is the way forward? What is the best solution? Tell me what you think in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe, share the video. That's it. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.